Hello, this is video number 9. I have 3 subscribers now. That's good. And this is the Brendon Donovan trade. This is what I see. I'm also put what CBS posted on their grades. They gave the Mariners a grade B. For me, any team that is trying to compete, any player that they get that has an impact, I give it a good grade. And the reason I say Brendon Donovan is a great pickup for them is because next year, as we know, there's not a lot of good quality free agents unless some players opt out. Not only that, you gotta see that one of those players that is going to be a free agent next year is Nº⁹. The other one is that, like I mentioned, there's not a lot of good free agents next year. So whatever they needed, they had to get it this year. And not only focusing on this pickup, but you have to also focus on Josh Naylor. They picked him up right away. Yes, he played with them last year, but he was a trade deadline pickup. Him and Eugenio Suarez. And they also lost Polanco. But Suarez, like I said, it's a deadline pickup. So I don't really consider that a comparison of last year's team to this year, because some of those trade deadlines make your team look better than it was beforehand. So I feel that Brendon Donovan is good. I like his low strikeouts, his hustle. I'm not going to say he reminds me of Jeff McNeil. I'm a big Mets fan. He don't curse a lot. He has more hustle. He has more of trying to do more. Yes, not only the hitting, but an extra mile afterwards. They gave him a B. I also gave him a B plus on that. 287 last year, 10 home runs. I kind of want to say he's more of a slap hitter. I believe he hasn't hit nothing above 15 home runs, 50 RBIs, stolen base, and like I said, not a lot of strikeouts. Who did the Cardinals get? The Cardinals, they gave him an A. In my opinion, I didn't give him an A. I probably gave him a B plus or C, and the reason is because I see the whole offseason how they did, and what Brendon Donovan could have got him on an earlier stage. But first, they got Szczęsny, 22-year-old, 15th pick, 2024. He was the 44th best prospect ranked in the minors. But as everybody knows, he was a lefty-righty. According to what I read is that the Mariners were using him as a righty, as a starter, and as a bullpen, as a lefty later on. Or they probably talked to him about that instead of having him switch during the game whenever he felt like it. The other one that I saw was this player named Pete, P-E-E-T-E, 20 years old, 30th pick, 2023. I guess they lost momentum or motivation or felt like that his upside was not good. And if we look at his high A average, his 217 with a 19 home runs, 25 stolen bases. As you can see, 2020 kind of a hitter in the minors. And then they got Lip better. He's the 55th pick on 2023 from Mississippi State, 265 average. I'm not sure if they got him from the Rays or from the, Tampa Bay, because I know it's a 3-way trade. And Williamson is the guy they got from the Mariners, the Rays. They gave him a B. Basically, it's a swap on that one. He's a former 2nd-round pick, batted 253. On the majors, I believe he had a home run and 5 stolen bases. That's major leagues. This is not just minor leagues. Why do I think that the Cardinals had a lower grade than what they gave him here? They gave him an A, I believe so. And the reason I say that is because they lost momentum. At the beginning, there was a lot of infielder free agents like Bo Bichette, Alex Bregman, but he was playing third base. And Luis Arias signed with the Giants as a second baseman. That meant that the Giants were looking for a second baseman. Bo Bichette before signing with the Mets, they said that he had a contract or a deal with the Phillies. He was guaranteed to probably play second base, meaning there was two other options that the Cardinals had to use as leverage on this trade deadline or on this free agent on this year. They could have also used him as a trade deadline, but there's an ups or downs, a positive or a negative on that. The positive, if he does good, how many teams and who's willing to get that second baseman. The downfall is, what if he's injured? What if he struggles? Or anything else that your return is going to be less. I found that with the Phillies, the Phillies probably say, we'd rather get a free agent than focus on trading. The Giants maybe didn't have a lot of package on the, how can I say this, on their minor leagues to trade. The other two teams that I saw that their second baseman was the Dodgers. I think his name is Kim or Lo Ho. I don't know his name. Second base, and the other one is the Padres. That I found that either one could have probably looked for him. I know Cronenworth is with the Padres. Sometimes he plays first and so on. But there was other options, but I felt that the minor league system or whatever their expectation wasn't there. That's why I felt like having your whole team getting depleted for the Cardinals, Arenado, Contreras, Gray, and now Donovan, people knew that you were going to sell on Donovan. And my other point on the Cardinals, in this point, I feel it's smart. Like I said, I'm a Mets fan. I look at other teams that are in big markets like the Yankees, and those teams are not willing to go with their farm system. Yes, the Yankees had Aaron Judge, Volpe, and they're trying to bring Dominguez, Jones, and they had Gill in the pitching. But it wasn't like Dominguez and Jones, they don't really play the whole 9 yards. Yes, they have also, I forgot their catcher name, Wells, I believe so. And they go in and out sometimes. The Mets, same scenario, I felt they're going to rebuild last year, but they were competitive this year. They tried to. I felt like they tried to, but I guess the fans were complaining that we're the Wilpons again. Not with the Cardinals. The Cardinals are a medium market team, a successful medium market team, that they understood that next year there's not a lot of free agents, that if they start this year, their fans are not going to complain next year because there's not a lot of players available. Meaning they have 2 years to rebuild. 2 years to focus on the prospects they're going to bring, how successful they're going to be, and who's going to play, not in 2027, but in 2028. 2027 is almost guaranteed if you're successful in 2026. And the Cardinals are known for this. When they used to be very good, they had Alex Reyes, they had, I forgot the other pitchers that they had, that they kept on bringing. They were prospects. They used them as relief pitchers, and then the following year, they used them as starters, just like Alex Reyes. And I froze on the other starters that they brought, that they came as a relief pitcher on that wild card run or that playoff run. And then they pitched on the playoffs. And then the following year, they became starters. Smart. Something that I feel that the Mets and the Yankees, they'll feel pressure. But the Mets did it last year with Tom, Sprout, and McLean. And eventually they traded Sprouts for Freddie Peralta. But I feel this is a smart move. I didn't give them a good grade because, like I said, their options were dwindling down on who to trade them to. But it's a good trade for the Cardinals because it gives them 2 years without the complaining of the fans. The fans understand that this team was not going to go nowhere. Arenado has been rumored for 2 years to be traded. They absorbed most of this contract. It's good. For the Mariners, it's also good. Why? Same thing like I mentioned. Now they get free agents next year. Now they have Donovan. They have Josh Naylor. They have Kyle Rayleigh, Rosarena still. Next year, we don't know. Julio Rodriguez. And their prospect, I forgot the name's prospect that they have. I think I saw it here as well. Freezing on their prospect that they had. I cannot see his name. But they had a prospect one of their prospects coming in, and hopefully he pans out, Cole Emerson. That means that they do have a solid lineup. Their pitching has always been great. I like their pitching. I like, it starts with a W. Woo Wong. He pitches 6-7 innings. That's a big plus, especially, like I said, diehard Mets fan. We don't get that. That's excellent. But anyways, good trade. I downgraded the grade that CBS gave to the Cardinals, but it's still a good trade overall and thinking ahead of next year. Same thing with the Mariners, thinking ahead of next year. With Tampa is a smart team. One of the lowest out of the lowest in the market, but one of the teams that was always competing because they're willing to sacrifice that hitter to only be a platoon hitter for special occasions. A lefty against a lefty, a righty versus a righty, or vice versa. That they build these players that they look so good on their team. And that's all I got. Hopefully you like my video. I like everybody's angle on the approach of this trade. With the exception of the Cardinals, I gave them a little bit less. Thank you, and thank you for watching.